Hi, let's break music theory. If this keyboard looks a little strange to you, it's because it has to be in order to play these chords. I'm playing in a nonatonic subset of 31-tone equal temperament. This is Orwell 9. Regular keyboard layouts like the 12-note one that we're all familiar with sometimes struggle to map a lot of what's going on in 31 equal in a way that's productive. So often I find myself having to reinvent the wheel, so to speak, in order to accommodate the beautiful colors and shapes we find in 31. This is a makeshift MIDI controller I built from the shell of a toy piano. The keys are modular, meaning I can move them around to accommodate different configurations and tunings depending on what subset I'm working with. In microtonal music theory, a subset is a selection of notes from a larger tuning system. Having a straight-up 31-note keyboard that's not isomorphic can get overwhelming very quickly. So subsets and modular keyboards are a great way to focus our work and set us down the path to streamlining a burgeoning approach to music, which doesn't really have any cultural or historical infrastructure which allows its implementation to be approachable for most musicians. I mean, when was the last time you were throwing a 31-tone guitar in the studio and asked to play giant steps in the key of B sesquiflat? Shout out to the king, 12-tone equal temperament, I guess. Orwell 9 is non-atonic, meaning it's made up of 9 notes. These 9 notes are a subset of the larger 31 microchromatic scale from which it's derived. And in case you were wondering, no, George Orwell did not moonlight as a microtonalist. However, he did inspire the naming of this temperament, whose generator, a sub-minor third interval, can be approximated with 19 steps out of 84 Ito. Get it? 19 out of 84, 1984, George Orwell, totalitarian oppositionalist meets microtonal music theory. I can feel my niche shrinking by the minute. There are a few kinds of Orwell that work well in 31. Orwell 4, a tetratonic version of the scale, consisting mostly of a chain of septimal minor thirds and a justly approximated major third, is a standout to me that has a lot of utility. Swerve of shore and bend of bay. A slip of faith, a moment's embrace. Of course, this scale only has 4 notes, so it's kind of hard to get away from the fact that it's basically just a glorified chord. Still, the Orwell tetrad, as it's also called, is a great sound, even if it shines best when fused with a more traditional diatonic flavor, as I just demonstrated. Whoa, that's cool, but hold on. I thought we were supposed to be breaking music theory. What's with all this 12-based diatonicism? I hear you angrily typing in the comments. And you know what? You're right. Let's go back to the beginning. Let's talk nonatonic Orwell. First, how do we construct it? One option for building Orwell 9 in 31 is to stack alternating step patterns of 4 and 3 until we reach the octave. In 31, 4 steps equals a neutral second, or about 155 cents. 3 steps equals a minor second, at about 116 cents. You may note that in 31, the minor second is a hair sharp of what you'd expect it to be in 12. If you've never explored outside of 12 notes before, a neutral second is gonna feel weird to you. This is because we do not have neutral intervals in 12 equal. The neutral second is sharp of the minor second, but flat of the major second, sandwiched at about a quarter tone between them. And this odd interval is just the tip of the microtonal Orwellian iceberg. We have a subminor third between D and F half flat, a supermajor third between D and F sesquisharp. We've got septimal sevenths, major sevenths, neutral fourths. We have full subminor chords, supermajor dyads, and neutral everything out the wazoo. And all this to say, there's so much that we can do with Orwell 9. So enough talk, let's take it for a spin. This is what I love about getting into Zen harmonics and microtonality. It shatters your musical worldview in the best way possible. You start to realize that there's this entire universe of unexplored sounds and harmonic relationships and these crazy big chords that are somehow functional outside of the accepted 12 notes that have been drilled into us. And it doesn't have to be theory heavy either. I mean, I like that approach because I'm a nerd, but if you're just a plug and play, everything is in 4/4 if you try hard enough kind of person, all you need to do is drop a tuning file into your synth and just have some fun. From time to time, things will sound a little off kilter, a little strange, and sometimes even flat out wrong. But maybe that's okay, because you know what? Sometimes life is a little strange, a little off kilter, and a little wrong. There's something that Mark Applebaum used to say that resonates with me and I think helps clear a lot of the BS out of the way when it comes to this kind of music. He was asked, what is music? Ah, yes, perhaps the most boring and over-asked question in all of musicology and music philosophy. Mark was wholly uninterested in this question as well, but rather than give the standard music is sound organized in time answer, he said it was the wrong question to be asking. Is it music? That's boring. The right question, is it interesting? If you find yourself sitting there thinking, Levi, this theory stuff is kind of cool, but it just kind of sounds a little out of tune to me. Don't worry, I'm totally with you. I understand, I validate you, and I have been there myself. So I have some suggestions. 1, try out Orwell temperament for yourself. You will find that the more you play it, the less out of tune it sounds. I know that sounds kind of weird, but the brain and the ear have an amazing way of recontextualizing sounds that you've been in for a while. So the more you play it, the more familiar it'll sound. And then you start to realize, oh my God, there's this rich, beautiful world of harmonies and chords that I can do outside of 12 notes. And that's a beautiful thing. 2, try not to get bogged down in any preconceptions around being in tune, out of tune, what microtonal music is, and what it can be. Don't get stuck in boring questions. Follow the music with an open mind, an open heart, open ears, and beautiful things can and will happen. All right, so do you want an easy way to try out Tetratonic Orwell, Nonatonic Orwell, all of the Orwells yourself at home? Well, I have a solution for you. I have just digitized all of these temperaments into tuning files that you can drop into your virtual synth at home. All of this and an exclusive lecture series on microtonality for the modern musician will be available to you when you join up in the microtonalist tier on my Patreon. It's how I keep this channel running, it's how I develop these crazy music theory ideas, and it's how you can show support for this deeply weird, deeply beautiful community of microtonal music theory nerds. We await you with open arms and a whole lot of notes.